So here we are in the kitchen, and I've decided to do a little fun experiment to see if this will work. I bought a cheap ammo bag on Amazon. It is, what's the maker? It's Rothco. They make this stuff's military type stuff. I think this is an ammo bag, but I wanted to use this for just like an everyday bag. I go to photo shoots a lot, and I need to carry a hard drive and just little things with me, and not a big backpack. So I thought, oh, just get something cheap and then wax it, you know, because wax canvas is kind of really big these days. So I wanted to see if I could do it on something cheap before I bought something a little bit more expensive. Anyway, this was like $8 or $9 on Amazon. Amazon Prime, free shipping, which is great. And then I bought some wax. I did a little bit of research, and I think you're supposed to use like golf wax or paraffin wax and beeswax, mix them together, but beeswax is so expensive, it's ridiculous. This was like $5 at Michael's, $4.99. It's a huge amount of wax. And then I bought some cheap brushes as well. These were like $3 at Michael's too. The method is you melt the wax, and then in a double boiler I have a tomato soup can, or tomato can rather. There's some tomatoes in here, and I'm going to put water in here, and you melt the wax, paint it on your object, and then after it dries it'll be all coated and kind of flaky. And then one method is to put it inside of a pillowcase and stick it in your dryer on a high setting for like 10 minutes. And what it'll do is it melts the wax even further and infuses it into or I guess it heats up the fabric, and then the fabric kind of draws the wax into it. I'm gonna try a heat gun method. I have a heat gun out in the garage, so we're gonna give that a shot, see if that works instead of sticking it in the dryer. I mean, I could, that'll be my backup method, the dryer method anyway. So we're gonna see how this works. Never done this before. Could be interesting, could be a complete disaster, who knows. Anyway, so I'm gonna melt the wax, or heat the water up, melt the wax, paint it on, and see how it works. Okay, the magic of television, we have melted wax. Well, 99% melted wax. So at this point we're just gonna paint the our bag. I'm gonna use cardboard. The bag came in. That's getting too messy. This is the bag here, military ammo shoulder bag from Rothco. It is 10 by 8 by 3.5. So it was like I said, $6, $8, something like that. Really cheap. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna paint our little bag. So take our can of wax. We're doing this in the sink because this is the most light I have in the room. So let's I guess we'll do the inside and the outside. So we'll start on the inside. Paint it on, see how it goes. So you can see it's already starting to, it just goes, immediately starts to dry, which is fine. So paint it on. Hope this is the right kind of wax. It's just the only wax I could find. I guess at the grocery store they sell that Gulf wax, which is, I'm assuming it's the same kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know anything about wax, so I'm just gonna paint it on, see what happens. It is immediately drying. As soon as it hits it, the fabric, it just completely starts to dry. You can see. And it's not that hot. I didn't think it was that. It's not really. It's not like hot glue, which is terribly hot when you get it on you. It doesn't seem to be that hot. So I assume that the real waxing process is when you heat this stuff, or you heat the fabric, I guess. I wonder if you could heat the fabric in a dryer like really get it on a high setting and heat it up. Just stick the whole thing in the dryer and let it go for 30 minutes or so on high, and it got really hot. I wonder if it would just soak up the wax. Pretty ugly. Seems to be doing pretty good though. I don't know if I'm going to do the inside. I'm probably just going to do the outside of the bag and see how it goes. And if apparently some things that I read said that you could do this several times if you really want to get like a nice coating on it. Do it and then paint it on, then do the dryer and then or heat gun or whatever, and then come back and do it again if you really want to get it to a nice wax job. Interesting to see what happens with the heat gun. That may be, like I said, that might not work. I might have to go do the dryer method. Hopefully not, because I don't want to search for an old pillowcase, which I know we probably don't have anyway. So, but might have to make do. We'll see. Yeah, amazingly, this stuff, the wax is not that hot. You'd think it would like burn you, but it's painted on, it's not that hot. Looks pretty good. At least it's mostly covered. And in a few minutes, I'll go get the heat gun, bring it in here. We'll give it a shot with the heat gun, see what happens. If that doesn't work, I'll search for a sleep pillowcase, and we'll be done. So all painted up, that's what it looks like. Nasty, kind of funky, waxy, and chalky. Pretty ugly. Now, we're gonna try the heat gun next. So let's heat this sucker up. This is a cheap, very cheap heat gun I got at Harbor Freight for a project I did, some sci-fi armor for a photo shoot that we did, and I had to heat up the foam and all that stuff, so I bought this cheap thing. Didn't think I was going to use it as much, but I use it all the time now, so I may end up getting a new one of these, like a better brand name. But anyhow, Harbor Freight. We'll try it on the lowest setting right now, see what happens. It takes a minute to get heated up. I have no idea what this is going to do. It's already starting to. So you can see it's melting. Boy, it's really absorbing it. It's pretty cool. Melts and then it just goes right into the fabric. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's definitely still wet, but you can see the heat gun's working. It's melting it and it's absorbing it right into the fabric. It's not as kind of crunchy as I thought, or it's waxy. Well, it feels thicker, but it doesn't feel like it's really, really waxy, like coated. So maybe that's the thing with doing more than one coat. Sorry, the lighting is terrible in here. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep going. See, I'm gonna put it on high now. See if we can get really good going. It's looking pretty good. I don't see any places that I missed too much. But I do like this area here. You can see it's kind of shiny, and I'm wondering if that when it dries, and here's the back too, it still looks kind of wet. I wonder if that's just because it hasn't dried, or if that's because I got more wax there. But it's not. I was thinking it was going to be like really thick feeling. It feels thicker. It feels almost wet, like if you were to wet this down and it wasn't dry yet and you picked it back up. It almost feels wet, but hit that again. But it's not. It's dry. It feels the weight of something when it's, or weight of this fabric when it's wet. It's dry. I don't know. I might hit it with another coat. It's pretty cool looking. But what I've done is I melted some more wax. I cut them up into cut it up into cubes this time. it melted a little bit faster in my double boiler. Also, I wanted to explain that the wax that I got is this Art Minds for jars from Michaels, and they had one for pillars. I'm a taller candle. I don't know what the difference was. It seemed to be they were both in 1 pound blocks, and the one for pillars was like $1 more for a package. I have no idea why. I don't know if it's a different kind of wax or what. But when I put the other coating of wax on, it certainly absorbed a lot less. I'm actually taking a paper towel and kind of wiping it down a little bit. After I let this set for a little while, it got a lot stiffer with just the one coating of wax on it. But I decided to go ahead and, since I'd already melted the wax, go ahead and finish it up and do 2 coats. Who knows what this is going to be like when it's dry, when it's cooled off. It's pretty waxy right now. It seems to be absorbing in, not quite as well as it absorbed in the first time with just 1 coat of wax, but we'll see. This time I stayed in the box with, I even put my jar of wax in the box with me, so making less of a mess. Also, you need to watch out for your Velcro. Try not to get wax into the Velcro. Of course I did. I don't know if that'll make too much of a difference. But when using a heat gun, this Velcro will melt really fast if you're not paying attention to it. So try and keep the wax off your Velcro. And it's still pretty warm. I feel it. I just heated this up with a heat gun, so it's still pretty warm and soft still. Okay, so here we are. Let it cool off a little bit. Outside, it's definitely stiff now. I mean, it'll really kind of hold its shape a little bit better, and I think it's still a little bit warm, so the more it cools off, the stiffer it's going to be. I don't know. I mean, it's okay. It looks all right. I wish it wasn't. I probably should have stopped at 1, but hey, you never know till you try. And 1 coat rather. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like this it's an olive drab, but it's got this kind of waxy, milky kind of olive drab look to it now. But it's definitely, as I'm holding it, I can feel the wax hardening and it's stiffening up. This is a pretty good little project. It was, like I said, it was $8 for the bag. It was $5 for the wax, and the brushes. If you have some brushes, just use something you can throw away. But the brushes were $3, so for not too much money, got a decent little bag that I can carry my junk to and from photo shoots and stuff like that. Looks pretty cool. So this is the Rothco, cheap Rothco waxed canvas bag.